Tanzanian Christians are growing and witnessing a new unity, but Christians have paid a painful price.
I burst into tears and shouted, my Jesus, why have you forsaken me?"
That was GENROSA KACHILA's reaction when her neighbors stormed in with nightmarish news. In February, a Muslim mob brandishing machetes murdered GENROSA's husband, Pastor Mateo KACHILA. The brutal attack occurred as the pastor walked to the home of a friend. The motive? Anger grew after Christians began butchering and selling meat. The lucrative business traditionally belonged to Muslims, who prepare it in their religious way known as halal. In his last few breaths, Pastor Mateo identified his killer. Ezekiel Meshach says the pastor told him it was a neighbor named Abdullah.
I was not surprised, because just before the attack, I saw Abdullah leaving the mosque carrying a machete. He grew a long beard and often wore pants and a vest that resembled those worn by Taliban fighters.
Locals believe Abdullah fled to neighboring Burundi. Victor Lagala is also on the run, but not for committing murder. Militant Muslims threatened to kill him because he videotaped the riot, capturing their images on camera. Lagala also visited the local morgue and shot exclusive photos and video of the deceased pastor's wounds. They are too graphic to show without blurring the images.
I was highly affected by seeing the pastor killed in that way because he was a fellow Christian, and I didn't have any power to rescue his life, but only to watch events unfold. I have known him for a long time. I want the whole world to learn what has happened to our country, so nothing like this will happen again.
And it's not just Protestant pastors that are facing these threats. Catholics are also being targeted. Last February, Father Everest Moshe was coming here to celebrate Mass at this church. He was gunned down about 10 meters from here.
Sister Maria Gaspara says Father Moshe was a kind and loving man who possessed a good sense of humor.
Devoted to his work, he loved Jesus.
Some Tanzanian Christians say Father Moshe's murder proves the goal of Islamic extremists is to target church leaders.
This is a long-term plan of Islamizing the whole of the Tanzanian nation. Islamic leaders have urged Muslims to come together to attack, fight, and kill bishops, priests, and pastors.
Anglican Bishop Michael Hafide was among those targeted. He says many Zanzibarian Christians are afraid.
We are sometimes strong, but we are human beings. Fears is coming sometimes. They don't know tomorrow what's going to happen for me or for another one. I tell my congregation to be don't afraid of anything. God guide us.
And widow GENROSA KACHILA believes God is with her and her 12 children. She trusts He will provide for them. She says God has a greater purpose in Mateo's death.
I believe God knew Mateo's destiny, and no matter how he lived, it was necessary that he go through this so that it would be a lesson to the remaining people, but also so the Lord can harvest into His kingdom.
And while the recent deaths of these faithful pastors now leave even fewer laborers, Tanzanian Christians say they are ready to follow their example and reap a bountiful harvest. Gary Lane, CBN News, Zanzibar.